looks like the numbers are sort of settling around 55. So welcome, thank you so much to all of you for coming. My name's Heather Williams. I am the Director for Sea Cadet Learning, and this evening, as the title suggests, we're going to just really give you an introduction to the CREST Award scheme, but also I'm going to sort of contextualise it in why we chose to align the STEM badge as part of, well, with CREST. So through this session, what I'm hoping that you will all sort of go away with is that you'll understand why we've aligned our STEM badge with the CREST Award scheme. We'll also just explore briefly why we have introduced STEM as a proficiency for our cadets and why that badge is so important for our juniors. We're also going to learn a little bit more from Caitlin, who's joined us today from the British Science Association about the CREST Award scheme, but specifically about the Superstar Award, which is what we've aligned the STEM badge with. And then I'll just touch finally on our plans for British Science Week. So we've got some new modules that we're going to launch in Science Week, but I'll tell you more about that shortly. So STEM proficiency for juniors. So this is our STEM badge, as I'm sure many of you are very well aware. This obviously is a badge that our juniors can gain as part of their proficiency, and it's one of 4 proficiency qualifications that we offer as part of the junior programme. The activities or modules, as we call them, are covered in that proficiency, really are just about helping juniors learn about engineering principles, very conceptual principles. They're also we also want to encourage cadets to use their mathematical skills to solve problems, as well as introduce them to science concepts and different technology that we use in our current society, but also just thinking about how they can use it to solve problems, as said before. The activities range from all sorts of ones. They're typical CREST Award activities. And so, you know, there's all sorts of things, from everything how salt in the water can change the density of the water, to testing properties of different materials and why that's important for carrying, you know, designing a boat and making sure it's correctly loaded with cargo. So in order for a Junior Sea Cadet to be awarded the STEM proficiency badge, they have to complete 15 STEM modules, as I'm sure you know. But why did we choose to create the STEM badge? Science is everywhere in the world around us, and obviously technology is continuously expanding in every aspect of our lives. Engineering is an application of science and maths, and that's why we feel STEM, science, technology, engineering, maths, so important. Our activities help cadets build their creativity. They help them with their problem solving, their life skills, and use their ingenuity, resourcefulness, and curiosity. And I'm sure you would agree, those are all skills that we'd like our young people to have. We want cadets to know more about STEM in general, because we think it helps them understand the world that we live in. It helps them potentially solve global issues like climate change, and it will open their eyes to what scientists and engineers do. And the reason that we are so passionate about that is because science and engineering, technology and maths play a massive part in the UK's economic future. It's a high value, well, the UK as a nation, not only is it very good in terms of its maritime heritage and the sector, the maritime sector brings to our economic future, but you know, STEM is also very high value and innovative and a knowledge-based sector that we want our young people to understand and potentially even go into as a future career. Recently, UCAS published some stats that show that we've got more young people taking STEM subjects than ever before, which is great news. I've been working in this sector for quite some time, several decades in fact, so it's really exciting to see that that work is actually starting to make a difference, and we've got more young people who will help fill what has been traditionally a skills gap in the industry. If young people choose not to go into these professions, that's great, but doing STEM and doing the STEM badge will also help them understand the role that they can play as citizens and in an increasingly technological world. getting my tongue tied over that one. As well as understanding the role that they can play with, or the role, sorry, that science, technology, engineering, and maths plays in solving some of our planet's challenges. Things like obviously climate change, that I've already mentioned, but world pandemics. I'm pretty sure that after this current pandemic and the work that scientists in the NHS are currently doing, we'll see an increase in more young people wanting to go into science as a profession, and obviously medicine as well. As part of our programme, we're really keen to build in STEM as a proficiency bag for all of those reasons, not least that it also leads on to some of our other proficiencies like marine engineering and CIS when they become a senior cadet. So in terms of the STEM badge, as I said, they have to complete 15 modules to get that badge, but as they go through, they can complete 8, which is almost, not quite, but almost midway to gaining their STEM badge. They will then get awarded their CREST Superstar Award. CREST is a nationally recognised award, and here to tell you more about that is, as I said earlier, Caitlin. Caitlin, welcome. Thank you so much for coming along. You're going to tell us a little bit more about CREST Awards, and I will press the button, but you'll need to give me the nod, if that's all right.
I think my internet did drop out there for just a second, so if I go again, I will return, but I just
don't
want to
worry.
give a caveat of that. It doesn't normally happen, so clearly there's something going on with it.
Fingers crossed it won't.
So yeah, thank you for having me along. I'm Caitlin Brown. I'm CREST Product Manager at the British Science Association. So I work for our education team, and our main programme is CREST, and then another programme that we run is British Science Week, which is the week after next. I know, Heather, you're going to talk about that a little bit more in a bit. So as Heather has mentioned, your STEM badges are aligned with our CREST Superstar Award. So CREST has 6 levels total, so I'm just going to be focusing on one of them today, which is CREST Superstar, and this is our level for students aged roughly 7 to 11, but these ages are approximate. So if you go to the next slide, please. So CREST overall is a scheme that essentially challenges young people to work like science and engineering professionals. So it's all about student-led project work, and it varies between the different levels, but it's all about students kind of taking ownership of the project and really leading on it. And as Heather mentioned before, that real-world context, which is so important because obviously science and STEM are all around us. So not only do they learn to kind of question the world around them, they also get to gain an award through doing CREST. Next slide, please. I think there's going to be some transitions.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
So CREST Superstar is our level for primary students. So as I said, it's for ages 7 to 11. So to get a Superstar Award, students need to do 8 one-hour activities. The 1 hour is approximate. It can be, 45 minutes to an hour. And at the end of it, they get a certificate and a badge. So if you go to the next slide.
Oh, so I've got more transitions here.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So by doing CREST, students develop a lot of transferable skills such as investigation planning and decision making and problem solving and team working and communication. So all of these are really key skills, obviously, when you're going out into the world. And again, it really allows young people to take ownership of their project. Even at primary level, it's letting them lead the way with some facilitation, but letting them take ownership and kind of, I think that helps it be a lot more engaging when they feel like they have kind of a lot more stake in it, essentially. So if you go to the next slide, please. So the benefits of CREST, sorry, more transitions. So it is low cost and easy to run, although I know Heather kind of you sort out the certificates and badges and things.
Yes, we do.
But there is no need for expensive resources. So again, everything, we do have our own resources, obviously. What you're going to be running is what you have developed yourself, so it's kind of separate. But the point of CREST is it's supposed to be low resource. It's not supposed to be super complicated or require difficult to use equipment or anything like that. And if you do ever get stuck, then we have a help centre. So if you're ever stuck on any of the criteria or anything like that, then people can always get in touch with us and check. Although Heather knows CREST very well. Yeah,
it's probably worth mentioning at this point that although we have, I think it's about 1920 STEM modules on our Programs Online platform. CREST has loads of other ones. And you could probably go through those and actually pick out more. We haven't had a chance to do this ourselves, but pick out some of the CREST ones that are what I would call maritime contextualized. So there's lots of different CREST activities that you could use and then contextualize them for our Sea Cadets. So that's another great resource. Crafty Rafts. I think we've called it something else, but it's definitely in there, Caitlin. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, so we have loads of resources, so if you want to do more, you can always do more. And yeah, CREST is fun. It's not supposed to be hard or challenging for the students or you want to be developing the student skills, but it's not supposed to be impossible to do. So next slide, please. So how to get a superstar award. So it's very straightforward. You run the activities, you can do it over whatever period of time you want. It's very much up to you. There may be more constraints through the program, but from our point of view, we do not care. You can do them over any period of time. Then you record the activities. So we have our passport that you can record them on. I know you've got your own thing that you can record them on. Essentially, you just keep track of them. Then you assess your students' involvement. Essentially, all that means is make sure they actually engaged with it. Make sure, they were involved the whole way through. And then certify your students. And then if, again, any help is needed, we're here. Or Heather's here to support.
Yeah. So currently the process is we've actually bought all the certificates already for our Sea Cadet volunteers to then apply to training, and we will send those through. Normally what people do is tend to wait until they've got a job lot and they email us directly, and then we pop them in the post to you. So you don't have to. You can still go through CREST Award scheme. There's absolutely nothing to stop you doing that if you wanted to, but we've bought a job lot and I've actually just renewed that. So we've got 600 waiting to be claimed. So yeah, if you want to do it that way, then obviously you just need to contact us. All the details are on the members area TNA website for those of you who don't already know that. Okay, let's keep going. I can see we've got a few questions coming in. So
have we? Okay.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to give a very brief overview of the kind of structure of a superstar award. So these are kind of a very broad overview, and they're just they're more to give an idea of like almost this is how we structure our resources, and this is the way that your resources are roughly structured too, because they match our framework. So the key kind of things are problem solving. So again, children should really be trying to solve a problem themselves. It doesn't need to be an incredibly difficult problem. It's just getting them thinking about that. Decision making. So actually deciding, okay, I have this problem. How might I solve that? And just thinking those things through. Then including practical science. That's kind of self-explanatory. And then also the reflecting and discussing. So, ideally working with each other to kind of talk about different ideas they have and things like that. And then also kind of communicating ideas. So at the end, maybe doing a very mini presentation, things like that. So this is just a very broad overview of kind of how they're structured. Again, these aren't like hard and fast criteria, but this is kind of a rough, like a general overview of what we would typically expect to be included.
On Programs Online, so with the way our volunteers access the activities, we've tried to build that into the content that's on there. So especially things like reflecting and discussing, there's generally questions in the content on Programs Online and suggested ways in which you can get them to communicate their ideas. We're constantly improving those. In fact, Dee, who's joined us this evening, has been working through those and adding to those over the last couple of months. So yeah, more work to do, but that's built in.
Yeah. Well, I think as well at the moment, I think we've all got to be flexible with how we, with these criteria. Like I've been saying to a lot of, for some of our other levels as well, in particular, our discovery level was very heavily based on teamwork, as you probably know, Heather. And so, for example, I've been saying, well, people can discuss it with their parents or their siblings. Like they don't have to be someone involved in the project. It's just getting those ideas flowing and making sure that it's kind of sinking in. So yeah, I think
some of our volunteers, well, maybe they can share with us in their Q&A how they've been doing this, because it's been really popular in lockdown. But some of our volunteers, our juniors are attending virtual parade nights, and then they're sharing over a Zoom session. So there's been some really impressive stuff out there. Right, we'll come back to the questions. I had a quick look at them, but we'll we'll do a Q&A at the end. So if you've got any questions, please put them in the chat and we will definitely answer them. We've got plenty of time. We'll definitely answer them before we go. Okay, let's move on to the next slide if I can get it to move. Uh-oh. It's always worrying, isn't it? There we go.
Oh, yeah. So if you just click again, it will just come up with our website and email address. So if there are any questions very specifically about CREST, again, Heather is probably a good person to go to because Heather does know CREST very, very well, as I'm sure does the rest of our team. But if not, then you can get in touch with us this way. Or if you're separately interested in CREST, I'm always, you know, here to promote CREST. People do it all the time. So yeah, so thank you.
What Caitlin's trying to say is that I used to work at the British Science Association. I did some maternity cover when I was there in between roles before I came to the Marine Society and Sea Cadets, actually. But I have always been an advocate and I will remain an advocate. My children do it every year pretty much. They never got sick of it, so we'll see what they say when they're adults, who knows. Right, so just to finish off then, before we do go to questions, we have got some plans for British Science Week. So that British Science Week is coming up very soon. And what we are planning to do, we're not doing a massive launch of activities, but we have got 8 new STEM modules, which will be put onto programs online for people to do during Science Week and beyond. Obviously, people can do, as Caitlin said, you can do it whenever you like. It's the same, obviously, for the STEM modules for CREST, but also for the badge as well. So there'll be 8 new ones on there. I would also say if you were going to do a STEM week at some point throughout the year, I know that some of our amazing ASOs have been doing that. You can also look at the CREST activity packs. The beauty of the junior program is that you don't necessarily have to do all the activities on programs online. As long as you are doing something STEM related, which is contextualized for your junior cadets, you can actually do whatever you like. The modules are examples of how you would do that, though, so try and stick to that sort of format if you are going to do that. CREST and the modules on programs online are already kind of set up for you. You can obviously tweak them as well to your heart's content and do more research around it if you want to. What's on programs online is a guide, and there are often more links to different activities that will help you manage it how you want in your unit or in your virtual parade night. Once your junior cadet has completed 8, and again, like I said, normally people wait until they've got a small group of juniors before they contact us. You just need to email us at training.department@marinesocietyandseacadets.org, and my colleagues will pop some certificates and badges in the post for you. Once you have completed 15, you can obviously then award them their STEM badge to wear on their brassard on their uniform. So what I would say is look out for the activities that we'll be loading up onto programs online next week. Keep an eye out for those. You don't have to do them in British Science Week. We're just launching them in Science Week because it seemed appropriate. Okay, so we're going to go on to the questions. So if anybody's got any specific questions or if there's things that we haven't answered, please do feel free to pop them in the question and answer chat. So someone said here, so M. Larson, if our cadets complete 8 modules plus modules compatible with CREST, can they apply for this retrospectively? Yes, they can. You just need to show us what you've done on which modules that they've completed. We have done a lot of stuff like this over lockdown. The cadets are leading on mini projects and feeding back. That's brilliant. That's really good. There is actually another award beyond Superstar. If you were interested, there's one called the Discovery Award. If you wanted to take it that little bit further with your cadets, you could do that. Get them to do a mini project working together. Have a look at the Discovery Award. We haven't looked at embedding it in the junior program yet, but that might be something that they do for the future. But that doesn't stop you doing it with your cadets if you're looking for content during time when we're doing virtual activity, at least. Hopefully we'll be getting back on the water soon, so we won't need fill any time. Were you going to say something, Vicky?
I was just going to say, let me help you out with the questions.
All right, brilliant. Thank you.
I'll read, you can answer.
Yeah, it's much easier when someone else does
Absolutely.
that. Thank you.
Much a bit of teamwork here. Fantastic. Okay. So Martin Galloway from Dunbar Units asked, is the Sea Cadet just taking part in one award, or can we do the bronze, silver and gold too?
We have only aligned the STEM badge with the Superstar Award because of the nature of the activities. There's nothing to stop you doing bronze, silver and gold if you want to, if you've got young people who want to take part in that. I would suggest probably if you've got cadets who've done their Superstar and you want them to do something else, I'd suggest look at the Discovery first and then bronze. Silver and gold, well, gold especially, is more sort of A-level standard. Normally it's young people who are sort of 16 plus who do gold, but there's, as Caitlin said, there's no boundaries with regards to age, and those are just suggested levels. That's right, isn't it, Caitlin?
Yes, yeah. So there's no actual age limits. But yeah, I think as Heather said, I think Discovery's the neatest transition from Superstar probably. Maybe bronze, but also bronze and Discovery are assessed by whoever basically runs the project or the activity, whereas silver and gold are assessed on our online platform. So we're obviously more, there's set criteria the whole way, but you can kind of assess it a bit more at Discovery and bronze. Silver and gold it is by our assessors, so that makes it a bit trickier sometimes, I guess.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Heather's asked. Sorry, Heather Cole has asked if units haven't applied for certificates for one reason or another, obviously during the lockdown period, and the cadet is now 12, can we still apply for the certificate? Which I think would have been automatic. Yes, of course you can.
Yeah, yep. It is. Yeah, just again, absolutely. Just let us know. We've got plenty of certificates, Heather. So yeah, if the candidate has worked hard for it, they should receive it. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got an anonymous which is said that we have had some of our juniors doing STEM modules with parents, as well as adding the seniors and getting them involved, as they can find them to split up doing their modules, which is great. And I think that's it's not so much a question as a bit of a chuck up, to be honest with you, because getting parents involved could be potential new staff as well if they're enjoying doing their STEM modules.
Yeah, definitely. I have seen some amazing examples of some of our senior cadets actually leading sessions with junior cadets on the STEM modules, and they're a bit of a hard act to follow in some cases. So that's definitely something I would advocate if you've got some leading hands that want to do some peer educator sessions, get them doing the STEM badge with your juniors, definitely.
Also, I'm just going to chime in about CREST here again. Older students can also get like a higher CREST level if they run CREST with younger students. So that's something to bear in mind too. If they want to get maybe a bronze award. I'm not sure how old the seniors are, but
it's basically so our juniors are from 9 to 12 and then 12 to 18.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe like a bronze level would be good there, maybe.
So they could do that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Next.
Something to think about.
Definitely.
So next question, an easy one, is what do we include in the email when we're obviously requesting for the CREST Awards? It says just cadet's name and what modules. So it's cadet's name, modules, definitely, and the unit you're from. And this is from Petty Officer Driscoll, I think it's Mike. If you can include an image of any of the modules that they've done, that will be fantastic. And obviously once the certificates have been awarded, again, if you can include an image, we can do a certainly great big chuck up on the Junior Sea Cadet Facebook page. So that would be good.
Yeah, and if you've not, if you've done something other than the modules that are on programs online that you want to tell us about, then please let us know. Someone's asked about my email address. My email address is hwilliams@marine-ms-sc.org. If you want to contact me directly, you're very welcome.
Yeah, I mean, we've got similar questions here going on about what do we need to send in the email? Do we need supporting evidence? I mean, images are always great, and images are always good to share as well.
But if you haven't done that for whatever reason, don't worry too much. What we need to understand is it's great to get feedback, like what are the most popular modules, and you know, what have your cadets done. So that's the main thing. There's more detail on that on the members area on the TNA, so have a look at that.
Yeah. Chief Hughes, we've got, can you confirm that units need to record the CREST Award on Westminster themselves, as well as applying to the training team for the certificates? Do you mind if I grab this one? Because this is something that pulled in new this year. We've actually, for those that don't know, and they've claimed CREST Awards in the past, we've actually had it put onto Westminster as a module. So of course, yes, do record it on a module as Westminster. It obviously goes to better your end results for your UR report.
You might want to put your camera on, Vicky, just in case someone hasn't met you.
I might scare. I don't know. There we go. There we go.
So,
okay,
have we got any more questions? Was that the final one? Or
you've also got 3 questions in the chat as well.
We certainly have.
Okay, let's keep going with
STEM modules at school. Can we record it at the unit?
Sorry, say that one again.
If juniors do any STEM modules at school, can we record it at the unit?
I think the idea behind it is that they do it with you in the unit or at home. I personally don't have a problem with that, but I think it would give cadets that aren't necessarily in the unit or working with you less, well, they would be disadvantaged because they're not able to do them at school. If they are doing them at home with their parents, then yes, that's of course fine. But I don't know if they're working towards their CREST Award at school, then that's a slightly different discussion. Then of course they can do it like that. But ideally, we want them to be doing it with their cadets in the unit, whether it's virtually or in person. Hopefully we'll be back to some in person, well, face-to-face activity soon, so we'll be able to return back to some normality.
Okay,
you've got another question from Martin. He's asking whether this the STEM badge can actually be worn on the senior uniform. Martin, that's it. It's a junior badge.
It's purely just for juniors. Yeah,
it's purely just for juniors. So the answer would be not for seniors.
Excellent. You've also got in the chat, if we wish to look at the extra modules on CREST Awards, do we need to register?
So I think
you do, yeah.
Assume that's about the extra other CREST resources. Is that right? So you don't actually need to register. All our resources are free online, and you don't need to sign in or anything to take a look at them. So if you go to crestawards.org, in the top right corner it will say resource library. So if you just click there, you'll be able to see everything we have, and you can, download, have a look, whatever. But you don't actually need to register you'll have to register if you want to submit anything for CREST, but unless you're doing a different level to Superstar, you won't need to do that, because Superstar you'll be going by Heather and any other levels. Yeah.
Other thing to note as well, every year on the British Science Week website, they create a pack, which is also quite good. Some good activities. I was looking at them yesterday. Some really good activities on there, and they tend to be similar to, but not always the same as the CREST Awards. So it's, if you're really stuck for things to do during lockdown, I would go and have a look at those. And if you get any good ones, let us know and we'll pop them on programs online. I'm sure Caitlin won't mind.
Yeah.
I'll check with you first, of course, Caitlin.
We've got another good test case here. I mean, Heather Cole, she's written that they've ran STEM modules once a week virtually and found it worked really well to send out a pack with resources, a resource timetable of when they will need each resource. And as Caitlin says, it's not expensive. She says offhand, I think it was about £2 per cadet to complete 10 modules.
That's really good. And as Caitlin said, that it's not expensive, and a lot of the materials you can find at home. Some, you do have to have a little bit of a route around on eBay or Amazon, but you can find them. But most of the time they're at home. Although personally, I always feel guilty about using plastic straws, and they do occasionally appear in some of our activities. Paper ones just don't work so well. But anyway, maybe that someone will come up with some good ones that we can use in that environment. So are we through all of the questions, or have we got any more?
4 in chat.
Brilliant, go for it, Dee.
So you've got, where will it fit with the Commodore's broad pennant?
Oh, that is in the guide. Off the top of my memory, I cannot remember what it is though. It is in the junior program guide. Unless I've got too many windows open on my laptop and I'm terrified that if I go out of one, I'll lose you all. So, but maybe we could come back to you. If you let me know who that is, I can drop you an email.
You've also got, you've mentioned the CREST activity pack. What does this include and how is it accessed, please?
So the activities are very similar to the ones that we have on programs online. They look like the presentation that Caitlin showed you. And Caitlin, just to say it again, I think you said you go to the resources tab on the CREST website.
So for the CREST resources, go to crestawards.org, and then, yeah, top right corner, there'll be a link to resource library. If you mean the British Science Week activity packs, I'm not sure, then go to britishscienceweek.org, and the activity packs are plastered all over the front page. So just click activity packs, and there's 3 different packs for
aged at slightly different age groups, aren't they?
Starting at early years, So yeah, take a look at those. They're all very good resources.
They are. I would recommend them. Next, Dee.
Can't the STEM be worn as proficiency? I think the time limit is 6 months. I'm sure the last I saw was that no, it was juniors only. The only one that transferred across was Commodore's broad pennant. Right, would it not be a selling point to school? Oh, someone's just put a question in and it's just shoved up my screen.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. Would it not be a selling point to schools if we and they are able to link sessions given at either place to gain the awards?
Selling point to schools. Well, I mean, it certainly is for CREST. I don't know that that would work for us. I'm trying to imagine what we mean by that.
TSDNA is said for recruitment. I must admit, I know where that's coming from. We've done some things for our unit where we've actually gone in and done various sessions like Heart Start, etc., as a sort of pull the juniors in.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Going in and running a sort of a couple of STEM sessions recruitment. You could do 2 or 3 and then bring it back to the unit.
So I have offered to help Croydon unit do some recruitment days, and I've said, you know, we can run some STEM activities to kind of draw people in. So if that's what you mean, then yeah, absolutely would say use them in that way, or any of the other activities that are on programs online, which are hands-on and quite visual. So yeah, definitely.
M. Larson has just said, who do we email with names and details of people who complete the CREST? I'm sure Heather doesn't want us all emailing her.
No, don't email me, because frankly, I won't get back to you as quickly as my team will. So it's the email address on my presentation. If I can click back, I will.
I think it's training department at ms-fc.org.
Yes, it is. And again, it's on the members area on the TNA website and in the program guide, which is also in the junior section on the members website.
What else have we got? POW before lockdown, we did a bring a friend STEM activity night. 3 juniors signed up.
3 juniors signed up. What from? I'm guessing
from the lockdown, pre-lockdown bring a friend STEM activity.
So they stayed because they had such a good time, I'm guessing. Well, you can tell us in the chat if that's what you mean.
Yes.
Brilliant. I honestly do think that. And I mean, I'm sure Caitlin knows the power of these hands-on activities. It's really great. I mean, I think that's why I love them so much. Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely use it as a recruitment tool, and in the different contexts, you know. If you offer to run a STEM session in a local primary school to get some of the year 6s on board, that will probably work quite well as well. I mean, it depends how confident you are in delivering it, of course. So any more, Dee? Any more?
Chief Cole has just commented, Commodore's Broad Pennant Award is the highest achievement badge junior cadet has the opportunity to obtain.
Yeah.
In order for a Junior Sea Cadet to be awarded with the Commodore's Broad Pennant badge, they must first have been awarded all 4 colour sections, plus an extra 8 modules from each of the colour sections, because the STEM badge is independent.
Yeah. that sounds
Brilliant.
about right. I don't have the information in front of me, but if you look on the again in the junior program guide, it does talk about that.
I'll confirm that. I was just in the process of saying it when I just completely lost internet. So yeah, so that's right. All 4 colours plus an extra 8 badges.
Yeah.
Modules.
Oh, modules. Sorry, an extra 8 modules. Yeah, absolutely.
We're always getting tongue-tied between modules, sections, badges. It's not helpful, is it?
Activities, you name it.
Right. How are we doing? Any more questions?
I'm just checking I haven't missed any. I think that is everything from the chat. And I can't see any extra questions in the questions.
Right, brilliant. I would just like to say we've got another really exciting program coming up. I don't want to say too much about it, HQSO Juniors, but look out because we've got more modules on the way. And yes, it's been a long time coming. It takes a while to kind of develop the activities, but they're linked to Science Week, and we're really quite excited about it. So keep an eye out for that. It's more content. You can choose what you want to do when you are delivering the STEM badge and the STEM badge, should I say, and the other section badges, apart from obviously the core ones that we ask you to complete. So you can choose what you do with your juniors, so you can keep it interesting and fun and lively, even in lockdown. Some of you have done that and done an amazing job, and it's so great to see what you're doing out there and how you've embraced the STEM badge. So I'd like to say a massive thank you to all of you. I know I can't see you all, but I know that you're there. So thank you. And hopefully you will enjoy the new ones that we'll launch next week.
Can I do a quick plug before we finish?
Go on.
Plug away.
That's why you're here.
Brilliant. Okay, so Junior Instructors module is now on Westminster. And obviously everything that's been going on over the last year, but what we've done is we've put a virtual junior instructors course on the defence learning environment. If you look onto the juniors page on the TNA, you'll find a link into the DLE, which will put you straight into the junior instructors course. It's a 2-parter because it's virtual. It's a do online in your own time, and then with evidence of the teaching that you've done, be it virtually or be it from past face-to-face. There is guidance within the DLE course of what classes as evidence. If you submit evidence in and join one of our 1-hour chats with your ASOs, which are recorded on Westminster as a part 2 to the virtual, then you can gain your junior instructors module. We're looking at getting every single unit with a junior instructor module. I'm fully aware that a lot of you have been teaching juniors for quite a while, but please do still do this because it keeps you up to date and current with everything that's going on with the junior section. And also, not only that, it's also a quick grab guide from myself if we've got anything national that's going on for an appointment as junior instructors module for communication. So I can grab details off Westminster, and if you've got that module up there, you'll be getting the up-to-date information. So please do have a look on the junior instructors page, the juniors page on the TNA, and have a look at the DLE course online.
The feedback's been really good so far, and also it keeps you up to date with how the program's developing, and we are putting a lot of time and effort into the junior program because it's so important to build that foundation of young people. That's how Sea Cadets will grow, and that's one of the reasons it will grow in the future, but also help us regenerate after the COVID or the impact of COVID, should I say. Anyway, I'm going to draw the session to a close. Thank you all very much for coming. Caitlin, thank you so much for coming and representing the British Science Association. We're really proud and very excited to see how many of our cadets are completing the STEM badge, and I'm sure more will follow. So thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. All right. Thank you very much, everybody.